Let the battle begin! Now! I'll end you with this! Now! 8 trigrams for rotation! Now! Trigrams for rotation! Trigrams for rotation! Now! Behind me! 8 trigrams for rotation! Now! I'll end you with this! 8 trigrams, 64 palms! Now! It's no game over!
The Byakugan has no blind spots. I expect you've realized that now.
Let the battle begin!
Super Water Shock Bomb Jutsu!
Game over!
Of all the lousy...
Let the battle begin!
Final blow! Absolute bang over bang! Let's go, Akamaru!
This is the end.
Go at full throttle! Got it! Come on! Let's do this together! Yahoo! Easy win!